Welcome back to another video. My name is Henrik and today join me at reviewing this wonderful car, the Lexus LC500, a car that I've been looking forward to driving for a long time, and since I've been driving it I've been falling in love with it, especially as a convertible at these wonderful temperatures on the outside. It's just such a joy to drive. We're going to be looking at everything this car offers. In Germany or in Europe in general, it's no longer a car that you can buy. In America you still can configure one. Lexus, however, is a company that in Germany and in general in Europe is just not that familiar. And the Lexus, for instance, in America is just a very well-known company. It's Toyota's luxury brand. When it comes to this car, it's going to be the LC500 with a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine in there, which is absolutely ridiculously fun to drive and also amazing to hear. When you just look at this car, you're thinking, wow, okay, what is that on the road? Looks like a prototype car that actually went onto the road, and just the silhouette in general just looks fantastic. The color on here, in my opinion, is not my cup of tea. It's more of, I'd say, for the older generation kind of a color. It's the Kupfer or the copper red color, even though it looks very rosy, like pink to me. What we're going to look at is under the hood, because that is probably the most special thing about this car. And like I already said, the engine on here is probably the highlight. I mean, the silhouette of the car also has a fairly nice highlight. But it's a 5-liter V8 naturally aspirated, and that engine just looks amazing. It's also, you can see, fairly forward placed towards the cabin. You can see there's a lot of space here. That is due to the fact that they particularly moved that further back to have a better center of gravity. You can see, engine looks quite wonderful in there. Lexus has made some wonderful engines like the V10 on the LFA, Jeremy Clarkson's favorite car. When it comes to this engine, it's going to produce 464 horsepower with 530 Newton meters, 0 to 100, 4.7 seconds, and also a top speed of 270 kilometers an hour. And it produces an absolutely amazing sound, which we're going to check out now, as well as do our 0 to 100 test. And again, from the side, the silhouette of the car really does a good job here. You can see a very big bonnet, fairly big rear here. It is theoretically a 4-seater car, but honestly, maybe 2 people with no legs in the back can sit in there. Otherwise, 2 people in the front, and then you have a wonderful GT. It's obviously a Gran Turismo. That's kind of Lexus' specialty on this car. It has that wonderful engine and also a very luxurious driving feeling to it, while you can still drive it fairly sporty. We have 21-inch rims on here, which honestly look a lot bigger than they are. 21-inch rims are still big, but they look like they're almost 30 inches or something like that. We don't actually have the biggest wheels on here, which for a car of this caliper, I would have maybe expected a little bit more. We have 2 45s in the front and 2 75s in the rear. The car is going to have a lot of traction issues. You probably saw that with the 0 to 100 test. So if you theoretically get one of these cars, I definitely pick up some bigger rims. Misha, the guy who drives a lot of cars on the Nordschleife, he actually drove one of these, and the guy had custom fitted or made some bigger rims on the front, or wheels in the front, which really changed the driving dynamics of this car. Otherwise, like I already said, the color on here, not my cup of tea. Then we have some aerodynamic touches down here, which looks pretty good, and just in general, a very big side of this car. And there's also going to be a very big fuel tank in here of 82 liters with an average consumption of 11.6 liters. When I was driving, I was getting around 13 liters of consumption, because we do have a 10-speed automatic gearbox in here, which means consumption is going to be a little bit lower than you might actually expect. 13 liters for a 5-liter V8 naturally aspirated engine, in my opinion, is actually not bad. However, when you're driving sporty, you're looking at 15, 16 liters, top speed on the Autobahn, around 40 liters. So, yeah. And obviously we have the car here as a convertible, and what we're going to do is quickly, put up the roof, which is actually quite simple and quick to do. All you have to do is come in the inside, start the car. Well, you don't even have to start up the engine. Then you have this wonderful little thing in here, which you flip up, hold it down, and then you can just, you have to press it down the whole time, which is unfortunate, but then you can see nicely moving out on the back, and then it's going to lift everything up quite quickly, soft and smoothly. You don't have to do anything. And that is it. Now the windows are going to go up and you're done. That's going to be able to go up to 50 kilometers an hour if you want to do it. And yeah, then you have a wonderful coupe. And now even with the roof up, still has a very nice silhouette. Often a car gets kind of like destroyed in its silhouette and it looks with the roof up, but I think this also looks quite nice. What's also pretty nice is the hood is going to be aluminum, then the doors are going to be aluminum apart from the inside of those, which are going to be in a carbon forge kind of thing. You can see here, if you look at those, some big bolts there as well from Lexus, but that is going to be forged carbon in there, making just the car a little bit lighter, as well as the rear trunk that is also going to be aluminum. What also is going to be quite nice, if you join me here on the back, is the design of the rear. That again looks quite nice. LC500 here, very nice design element when it comes to the lights. And we also get, well, two kind of exhausts, but if you actually look close, they're going to be a quad exhaust pipes on there. And the way they just sound is absolutely fantastic. We drove this car quite a lot through some tunnels, so when you're driving here, just listen to the pure beauty of this sound. There's actually 3 ways you can open this trunk. You can do it from the inside, you can do it via the key fob, or what I've just figured out now is there's actually a button here which you can press and it's going to open. That is fantastic, because I was just looking at this, I was like, what is this button? But there you go, I just figured that out. I thought you could only do it with the key fob. That's going to be 149 liters of storage space, which is obviously not much, but it's going to be enough for maybe a suitcase, and you can see here a bag's going to fit in there. Maybe 2 suitcases, some fairly small ones, just for a little bit of road trip, well, driving experience. Let me know what you think of the design in the back. I think it's just a wonderful design in general. And join me now on the inside of the Lexus LC500. Quality in here is exceptional. The only way you have plastic is all the way on the bottom. And actually, that's not even plastic. It's just in the inside there is going to be plastic. On the outside, it's still even a little bit of a nicer material. Otherwise, you got everywhere the stitching. You have an oh-shit handle there and an oh-shit handle there. You have this wonderful integration of your air conditioning. Even this here is not plastic. It's aluminium or something like that. Really high quality, you can hear. Feels great. Then the display, how it's worked into the dashboard, kind of almost looks like if it would be integrated a little bit more like an Audi. Just looks great. Up here you also have your star column for your drive modes and for your ESC on the side. General very lovely pedals as well. Oh, sounds so great. Then you have this wonderful steering wheel, which I honestly, it's a Gran Turismo, so you're not looking for the most sportiest steering wheel. You're looking for a little sport and comfort. But maybe just something a little bit different would have been a little bit nicer. I'm never a big fan of this down here. Was already in the Toyota Supra GR, for instance. Inside here on the center, we have our gear selector. All just looks very minimalistic, simple, and future-proof in my opinion. Up here, if you put this down, you have 2 cup holders in the center there. You can open this, then you get a USB-C and also USB port in there with a little bit of storage space. And I can just look at this alone if I press this. Oh, the elegance of that. Then if you press this down, and down here you can also put down your roof, because we do have obviously the, well, convertible variant of this. Otherwise, let's also quickly look at the infotainment display real quick, just so we can look at the way it's laid out. Obviously, reversing camera, 360-degree camera like that. We're not going to go into that. I'm just going to quickly show you around here. Toyota, Lexus, simple and just, well, very shortly, well, there's not much detail in here. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless, and then you have a couple of settings. But honestly, there's not much you can do in this infotainment display, which is not bad. And with the new variant, obviously, compared to the previous generation, you do not get that trackpad in here anymore, where you control everything through here, because it is now a touchscreen. Now you get, for instance, this button, where you have your camera views and stuff like that. It's like an inside wall hack kind of thing, if you're sitting in the inside. It just looks really weird, but it's like a full 3D scan of everything around you. Then you also have your heated, ventilated, and also heated steering wheel, as well as up here, which is a heated like air that comes out on the back of these seats. You can see right there. So if you're driving this on a very, let's say, a little bit more of a chillier day, then you can turn that on and you get neck heating. Otherwise, we get a heads-up display, which is currently turned off. You can press on the button on the left side. It's going to turn on or off. A cool thing in this center here right there, press on this and it's going to completely move this. Look at that. That's just a cool gimmick. The thing is, how often are you going to press this before it actually breaks? That's the question. But it's pretty cool. Then you can just change a couple of things on the side. Let's also quickly put the roof down. You hold it down. Moin, that woman's looking at me like, why am I wearing a GoPro? Actually fairly quick, but you do have to hold it down all the time, which is not the nicest thing. Would have liked that if it would have, well, if you wouldn't have had to hold it down. And there it is now down. Let's also start up the car, which is going to sound quite nice. There's that 5-liter V8 naturally aspirated engine coming to life. Then let's also put up the windows, just so we don't have too much disturbance of the airflow. If you press this button, the two windows in the back are also going to lower and will also go up. So it depends on if you want to do just the front windows or you also want to get the ones in the back. And then at a day like this, where it is 26 degrees outside, you're sitting in shorts, you're driving with this LC500, life is just great. It is such a joy to drive. It is a Gran Turismo, so it's not supposed to be sporty. Well, it is supposed to be sporty. It's a mix between sporty and luxury. And we'll talk about that here a little bit more once we're driving and not standing at a red light. Another thing about the Lexus is it's always a great mixture of luxury, power, and comfort. You get a car that's obviously a Gran Turismo, so it's the perfect fit between longer distance drive, sporty, and also that elegance, power, luxury, what you get in this car. And you definitely notice that in this car. You change between Sport and Sport Plus, and you can even still drive this car fairly comfortable. But then you get that sound. Oh, and that is just amazing. You saw that even at 80 kilometers an hour, it had traction issues. It's because we don't have the biggest rims on here, and that's one thing. If I had purchased this car, I'd definitely put some bigger rims on here. But that just sounds amazing. There's going to be a couple of tunnels here where we can fully enjoy the sound of this car. But what you get is, even in Sport Plus, because we do have a 10-gear automatic, 10-speed automatic gearbox, the car has so many gears to go through, therefore a fairly low consumption. 13 liters is what I've been getting, 11.6 is claimed. Okay, so let's shift down now. And that's exactly what I mean. You have that comfort, and then you have that 5-liter V8 just roaring out the back and wanting to go fast. But look at this, I'm in Sport Plus right now, and we're looking at 2,500 RPMs. What in other cars you wouldn't expect, because you'd be expecting at high revs, late shifts up and shifts down. But that's not the case in this car. It only does that when you're, for instance, hitting it on the throttle or you're also braking. Then it is going to have those late revs. There's no day where you get sick of that. It is always an absolutely ridiculously amazing sound. Naturally aspirated engines just sound so amazing. Let's do it one more time, just to hear that beautiful sound. It is amazing. Oh, and even at 150, you can still drive this car comfortable, and even with the top down, not like it gets annoying after a little bit. It is actually quite comfortable, and the cruising like loudness of the wind, which is quite okay. But that sound is just wow. That is exactly what this car is meant for. Gran Turismo, luxury over long distance, and then that powerful V8 engine roaring out the back makes this car, in my opinion, one of the best cars that I've driven, and one of the cars that, well, definitely the car that sounds the best that we've ever driven. It's just amazing. I'm gonna drive a little bit slower so I can talk a little bit more. And then you also have variable dampers in here, with also something that is for your gearbox, which is an artificial intelligent kind of thing. It depends on how you drive the car. Then the AI is going to detect, okay, is he driving a little more sporty, is he driving a little more rough, and then the car is going to adjust to your driving style to basically get down to what you want to drive and how you drive the car usually, so it knows what to expect from you basically. Then you have those dampers with 650 different settings in there, so you can switch between comfort and just enjoy a cruise and still have that V8 engine sound in the back. But even here at 100 kilometers an hour with this wonderful view, this wonderful temperature right now, it's just a beautiful combination, and that's what convertibles are obviously good for. But then this luxury of a freaking Lexus in here, and then go into Sport Plus. Slow down. Enjoy the sound. Enjoy the nature. But then disturb the nature with the echoing sound of the 5-liter V8. That is amazing. And amazing, just amazing. God, that is beautiful. So Autobahn, unlimited, hit the floor. It's a completely different driving experience when you have that roof up now. Before you had that roaring V8 just screaming at you from the back. Now it's kind of screaming at you from the front. And it's actually a pretty precise steering input. You definitely notice the feedback from the road. 230, it definitely takes a little bit once you're up here, obviously. But then, that steering is actually quite nice. Handling's also not bad. You gotta consider, this is a 2-ton car, which can go up to 270 kilometers an hour. And it does a very good job at precisely turning into these corners at, well, obviously 190 kilometers an hour now. But we're not going to be able to hit top speed on this run because it is a fairly curvy Autobahn here. But now sound isolation, obviously it's still a convertible with a hardtop that you can obviously fold down. Therefore isolation is not going to be at its finest. But still, even at 180, it's not like it's breathtakingly bad and really irritating to your ears. It's actually quite comfortable. Let's accelerate here from around 175 downhill. And there, pedal to the metal. 190, 200, 210. Still quite nice and a good kick, exactly what you're kind of expecting for a Gran Turismo. It's obviously not an engine that is tuned to be completely powerful, completely sporty. You can do so much more with this engine, but it's also not turbocharged, so you're not getting the full output of it, but you're just getting that roaring sound and the luxury of having that V8 roar while having a very nice and smooth driving experience with still a decent punch. Obviously, if you're looking at competitors, or used to look at competitors for the German market, something with this engine would cost you around 30,000 euros more at a starting price, because you're going to have to pick up an SLS 63, something like that, or SL 63, or a BMW M8 with that V8 engine. It's just going to cost a lot more, and that's why I think this is beautiful, because it's also naturally aspirated. And I'm just going to keep going back to that point. It's just a wonderful engine that Lexus has developed here. I mean, they have developed a lot of amazing engines. For instance, the LFA with that wonderful V10 sound. That is just a fantastically amazing sounding car. Probably one of the best sounding cars out there, even though I've not heard it in real life. But this also just sounds so amazing and so surreal. And what is my final verdict on this car? Well, it's a car unlike anything I've driven so far. First of all, it's the first convertible that we have had on the channel. I've driven a couple other convertibles, but still, this is a very special one. Engine here is obviously fantastic. Sadly, not in the future. We're not going to be able to see that for much longer. 5-liter V8 is just not something you're going to get nowadays, which is also a naturally aspirated one. Design is future-proof in my opinion. Looks fantastic. Especially in Europe, everyone looks at you because the car is just something that they've never seen. Lexus in general, very, let's say, hidden in Germany, even though we just saw one driving past here in the middle of nowhere, basically, which was quite random. But in general, absolutely fantastic car. I absolutely love it. One of the cars that I've very grown fond of, and I'm probably gonna have a hard time letting go of this one. What do you think of the car? Let me know in the comments. We'll see you next time. Make sure to like, subscribe. Bye-bye.